Happy New Year everyone, and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to show you some free plugins which are good for mixing and mastering as well as making instrumentals. Let's begin. Before we start, don't forget to check our channel for even more content like this. A like, a share and a subscribe would also be very helpful, and if you're a music industry professional looking forward to expand your network, check our brand new platform, thetalentuniverse.com. And now let's get back to our video. So we made another video in the past with the best free plugins for 2023. I recommend you to go and check that video because those plugins are still relevant for this year as well. And also what I'm going to show you today in this video will contain different plugins from those ones. So I encourage you to go and check that one as well. Today we will be looking at some EQs, some compressors, some effects and some free synthesizers as well. And stay until the end because I'm going to actually show you an instrumental that I have produced only using free synthesizers, free plugins and free samples. So let's see what we have here. So I'm going to start with Kilohertz Essential. This is a bundle which has pretty much every plugin that you might need production wise. You have an EQ, you have a compressor, you have a distortion plugin, a delay, a reverb, a limiter, pretty much everything. Now, it doesn't have the best user interface and some of the plugins are not as good as they are supposed to be, but you get quite a lot of plugins into a single install and they are for free. So only using this bundle, you can at least mix a vocal from the beginning to the end of it. So yeah, totally recommend. The next one is a vintage EQ, which is coming from Fuse Audio Labs, and it's called RSW2395C. Now, it is not as complicated as it looks like. Just choose your band and you actually have a drive knob for it and trip knob as well as gain. So just play around with these knobs and you will get a very nice sound. I actually see this plugin being used on some drums, a kick or maybe even an 808, but that doesn't mean you cannot use it on vocals. Just experiment with it, play with it. The sound of it is really nice actually, so yeah. Recommend. The next one is called Blindfold EQ and it's coming from Audiothing, and this one is actually quite interesting because as you can see you don't have any frequency labels. You only have some color labels for the lows, low mids, high mids and highs, but that's it. You need to use your ears to mix with it, and I find this challenging but at the same time very good because it makes you be creative and the result might actually be better than you would expect. I think I'm actually going to use this one quite often from now on. I like the idea of it. The next one is called Dirty LA, coming from Bedroom Producers blog, and you will see that we will meet with these guys again later on this video. This is a simple compressor, and to be fair with you, I love the user interface. It is fresh and it is easy to use as well. You have a pre-production knob, which is pretty much the only one that you will be using if you are mixing a vocal, for example, but if you're mixing some drums, you can also add some dirt to them. And I find this really useful because it's like a 2-in-1 plugin. Easy to use and effective. We love it. Simple. Next one. Another compressor. Now this one might look a bit odd, and to be fair with you, it took me a bit to get used with its functionality if you want. It is called Greater Light from Yam Audio, and basically you control this knob here, which is pretty much the compression from what I understood, and here you have a sharpness knob which modifies like the color that it adds to the voice or the drum or whatever, and as well as a gain. A mix knob here which you might actually use sometimes. To be fair with you, from what I heard, it sounds a bit like a saturator as well. So yeah, definitely something interesting and something to experiment with. This is also part of a bundle which is coming from these guys. I will show you the other plugins a bit later on. Okay, now we jump on effects and I will move a bit faster from now on, and I will quickly show you what I could find on the internet. We start with Valhalla. The first one, Frequency Echo. It is a mix of a reverb with a delay, easy to use, few knobs, and it sounds very nice. Next one, Space Modulator. It is a modulator, obviously. Again, easy to use and it does its job properly, so you should use it. Last one from them, Valhalla Supermassive. Again, another mix of a reverb with a delay and a bit of modulation as well. I love this one, and to be fair with you, Valhalla algorithms, they sound nice. Spot on, just get them. Now we move to Yam Audio, the ones which made Greater Light. The rest of the plugins which are in the bundle, if you like so, are Crispy Clip, which is a clipper, free knobs, easy to use again. The next one is Spreadlight, this is a stereo wider, and then we have a tape emulation from the same guys, which is called Fluxlight from the Lo-Fi series. It is amazing, I think I will actually use this one a lot from now on. Next one up in the queue, Baby Audio, and we start with Baby Comeback. This is a delay plugin, but not that classic delay plugin. Best use scenario for this type of effect is on a melody. It is used to add an extra layer in the back of that melody, which is delayed, and that layer will fill the melody. It will make it sound better and fuller, if you like. Very nice. I tested it. Sounds very good. Then we have the Bit Slammer. This is a compressor, and yes, it looks a bit odd, but as you can see, as I move the dot, I modify the mix knob and the amount knob. We have the makeup gain as well, then the overall output volume. From my understanding, it is better to be used on drums, and to be fair with you, this is the most simple that a compressor can get. So yeah, very nice. Next one, Magic Dice. This is a combination of effects into a one knob plugin. Effects like reverb, delay, or maybe modulation as well. Very nice, and it sounds amazing. Next one up, it is the Magic Switch, and this one is a one knob chorus plugin. Again, easy to use, and the sound of it is very good. The last one from this guy is the Pitch Drift, and as its name is suggesting, this is a pitch drift plugin. Again, a one knob effect. Very simple and very effective. Very good for like ad-libs or maybe harmonies which sit behind the main vocals, or at least that's how I see it being used. So yeah, Baby Audio, 10 out of 10. I really like this bundle from them. Now we're coming back to our friends from Bedroom Producers blog, and we start with Dirty Filter. This is a distortion plugin, and again, the user interface is awesome. And again, it is easy to use. This is the main word for today, actually, easy to use. And the last one from them is a saturator, which is in the same theme as the previous two ones. Two main knobs for you to use, and you can choose whichever band you want to keep depending on what you're saturating. It may be a vocal or an 808. You can use it for both scenarios. And I would like to end with some free synthesizers which I found and which I used on the song that you will be listening a bit later on. So we start with Vital, and it has a lot of presets here. I actually like Keystation a lot. It sounds like but you have plenty to choose from, and you can modify them as you like afterwards. You can add stuff, you can remove, so just play with it and the result will be very nice. Next one is called Zebralet, and this one is trying to emulate a synthesizer from like the early 2000s, like 2002, 2001, around there. I feel it can be flexible and you can use it in a lot of areas. I mean, I managed to use it in a hip-hop instrumental, so yeah, again, plenty of presets here. At the moment I'm using HS Wheel Undertones, and it sounds like this. A bit odd, but it blends with the song very well. The last one is called Blias. I think it's pronounced like that. I hope it's pronounced like that. I'm sorry if it's not pronounced like that. Monolith V125. The best use scenario for this one would probably be EDM or techno, something like this. I don't know. You can... But I like the user interface of it a lot, and I don't know, I will try to experiment with it and try to introduce it into my projects. We'll see how it goes. Before I let you listen to the song that I made using free synthesizers, the only one that I haven't used is this Blias, because I'm still trying to figure out how to use it and how to implement it into my Vision. One of the best synthesizers that you can use is the sampler in your DAW. Find free samples on the internet. Go on Cymatics or just type in free samples or MIDI packs on Google and just use what you can find. All of my drums are made using free samples from the internet just because I don't like what Studio One is offering me in that regard. I actually have on my external drive a sample and MIDI packs folder. As you can see, it has a lot of stuff here, and it's not really organized at the moment, but it has everything that I need to produce pretty much every song that I want for myself or for my clients. So yeah, don't be afraid to download free sample packs or MIDI packs or drums or whatever, and you won't regret it. And don't worry, it's not a shame to use samples. On the contrary, there are a lot of songs out there which have samples at their core. They're just very well integrated into the main theme of the song, and sometimes you can't even tell. So yeah, feel free to look for sample packs on the internet, and don't worry, you will find plenty of them free of charge. Now it's the moment to show you the instrumental that I have produced only using free synthesizers, free plugins, and free samples. I would like you to tell me your opinion about it in the comment section down below, and now let's listen to it. See, you don't really need that much money to produce music, as long as you're creative enough. So practice, listen, compose, and produce. You can do it. You got this. And this marks the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you found it useful. As always, I'm waiting for your feedback down below in the comment section, and don't forget that a like, a share, and a subscribe would be very helpful, and it motivates us a lot. Until the next time, take care of yourself, and again, Happy New Year, everyone. Bye bye.